So this is rumored to be Daniel Craig's last Bond movie. Will he go out with a bang? So this week we're watching the new James Bond film, Spectre. Now this movie's a little different than the other Daniel Craig Bond films due to the fact that they're trying to, I think the best way to put it is they're trying to amalgamate the old Bond films with the newer Bond films, which are meant to be more grounded in reality. They kind of take those two ideas and they mass it together, where you're going to see some of the old cliches and the old ideas brought into a modern day movie. And when you do both of those together, I actually thought it worked really, really well. I feel they didn't take it too far into the campy side. They didn't really take themselves too extremely seriously, so it worked as a team, which was very, very good. If you've enjoyed the Daniel Craig Bond movies up to this point, you're really going to enjoy this movie. Now, personal opinion, this was no Skyfall. I still think Skyfall was better than Spectre, but that doesn't make Spectre a bad movie. Spectre was still a fantastic movie. It keeps you on the edge of your toes. Each one of the action sequences is typical Bond fashion, where it's over the top, exciting, edge of your seat the whole time. So it's very well done. But I normally don't speak to things like cinematography and the way they frame shots. But what was with the blurry camera? The front is in focus, the back is out of focus, then nothing is in focus, and you're kind of going, are they waiting to show you something? Is this supposed to be for dramatic effect? I saw it like 5 or 6 times in the movie and it drove me crazy. So very possibly just me, because I don't know the technical side of filming these movies, but it definitely drove me insane. So I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Solid Bond film, extremely fun. If you're a fan of the franchise, you're definitely going to like this movie, especially if you're a fan of the Daniel Craig movies. So let's see what our other agents have to say. So, Spectre, what'd you think?
Honestly, I still think Skyfall was better, but was this a bad movie in any way? No. I enjoyed this movie. I had fun with it. It had a lot of action in it. It always has to have one hot girl in it that you just look at.
Honestly, I thought it was a pretty interesting movie. I liked the kickback to the old Bonds. Reminded me of a little bit of Odd Job in one of the villains that we get in this one. So that part I loved because he's my favorite villain of all time.
I liked it. It's what you get out of a classic Bond movie. You're right, you said it earlier, those cliche little one-liners made it pretty dang funny, but it didn't deviate from the standard Daniel Craig Bonds. You had the action sequence, you have the fighting, the scenes, everything about it was action-packed, but it still brought in that old homage to the older movies.
I thought it was good. I liked Skyfall a lot, and I really enjoyed this one because it didn't necessarily take a shot on Agent 007, more like Detective 007.
I enjoyed it. I'm a big James Bond fan, so I'm always going to see every James Bond movie. It does have all of the really classic moments, the gorgeous locations, the hot women that will pretty much sleep with him at the drop of a hat, no repercussions involved. Every man's total fantasy, awesome cars, guns that shoot out of it.
I was entertained. I think if you are a Bond fan, it's a must-see. It had a feeling that if you had seen all the other Bond films, whoever directed it decided to put a little piece of every single Bond film into this one. You had the beautiful women, the fancy cars, the lovely watch. It was almost a commercial throughout the entire film. Obviously, the crazy villain layer is in the middle of a crater, so very suspenseful film.
I can't say it was a bad movie in any way. I did see the blurriness you saw. I won't say it was horrible. I mean, I kind of just, I guess you could say, ignored it because I was thinking something was going to happen, but at the same time, I didn't really see anything happen. The only thing that you could say about this movie was bad. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that saw the blurriness. I was just thinking maybe I was having a bad day.
I think they used a couple Instagram filters on some shots, which I thought was interesting. But, hey, what are you going to do? But other than that, really entertaining movie. Definitely had the Bond girls going on, which is always fantastic. And some great action sequences, which always gets the blood flowing.
It felt like a trilogy. It made it feel like it was trying to wrap everything up, pull it all together in one at the very end. So if you didn't watch the first couple of movies, some of the characters might not make sense to you.
There was a lot of continuous shots that I enjoyed a lot. I'm a huge fan of continuous shots. A lot of action. I loved the scenery, the cinematography. So.
Really good locations and just classic super villain with the lair, but no surprises. Ultimately, I always knew what was going to happen pretty much all the time, and there were moments that I think they were trying to surprise us, and we were supposed to feel, wow, I never saw that coming. I can't believe that this person is this or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, we pretty much knew that from the get-go. So that was probably my only real big letdown for this movie.
Great cinematography. Obviously, there was some moments within the film where you had some blurriness, so kind of like an Instagram shot. But overall, I was entertained.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this and why?
I'd give this an 8. I thought it was a pretty darn good movie. It's You're going for a Bond movie, you're going to be entertained, and I was entertained for the movie.
I'd give it an 8. It was a little slow in the beginning because of the detective work that he was doing, but other than that, it was a good action film.
Gonna have to go with a 7 on this one. It's hard to stand up to Skyfall, which obviously, everybody really loves. But ultimately, just a little too dependent on the previous movies. Not enough surprises, but plenty to go see regardless.
I think you'd have to go with a solid 8. Obviously, the last film being Skyfall, it's hard to live up to that one. I think that was the best out of the Daniel Craig saga. But I think in all, it's going to be missed if this is Daniel Craig's last film.
I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10.
I would give it an 8. I liked it. I had fun throughout the entire movie. Those Bond villains made it worth it. They were serious and kind of scary, but at the same time, they had that one little thing about them that you just wanted to laugh at them at the same time.
If you'd like to see our review of Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, go ahead and click here. So we'd like to know, out of the 24 total Bond movies in the last 50 years, which one is your favorite? Let us know down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more reviews every week. And as always, we're letting you know before you go at Brennan Theaters.